Ibn Arabi, in the Ijaz al-Bayan, see the mention of the angels as an honor for them, since they are on the highest level of being. But he asks also himself, if the divine speech is not here addressed to all created beings, which gives, and it means from the angels but also everybody, which gives to the story a much more actual meaning and solves the problem of Iblis being among the angels. Protest of the angel poses the question of nature of the man called here Khalifa, and also the question of a relationship between man and angels. In the 7th chapter of the Futuhat, on the knowledge of the beginning of human bodies, the Shaykh describes successively the creation of all beings until creation of man. God, as it is told in many traditions, asks the angels to bring different sorts of earth and knits them together by his two hands, the expression of duality in man. God gives also each angel something in trust, wadia, and say to them, when I will have created the man, give him those things. And when I will have breathed is my spirit in him, fall for him in prostration. The Shaykh doesn't explain what are those things given in trust to angel for man. But we can imagine that they mean the spiritual faculties in man. He described then the constitution of man with the four elements which are in opposition. Because of that, the angels knew that man will be in opposition to each another and say what they say about him. But in fact, those four elements, or humors, are in correspondence with the four main attributes of God: life, science, power, and will. And while the three faculties of the reasonable soul, nafs al-natiqa, representation, reflection, and intellection, completed the four tabai', the seven physical and psychical faculties of man correspond to the seven main attributes of God, the four precedents in addition to speech, hearing, and seeing. But after that, God gave man another creation, khalq akhar, which is real humanity, insaniya, and which is the reality of the Khalifa. Ibn Arabi makes some remarks on the attitude of angel, which are quite different from what we find in other tafsir and even in Sufi commentaries. At first, he considered them as still a part of the physical world, tabi'ah, even if they are created from light. So they have the properties of this world. In the Fusus, he remarked that contestation is corruption, fasad, exactly what they blame man for. They prefer their opinion to divine science, which is, for Ibn Arabi, a manifestation of miserly temperament. As well, their jealous zeal led them to error. The Shaykh says, the extreme desire to realize what you want takes someone away from doing what is convenient. All of that is to show that their attitude is in fact in contradiction with the quality of the true Khalifa. In fact, it is one of the external attribute of the Khalifa to shed blood, not from himself, but for the divine law. God demonstrated that to the angel when he sent them for fighting against the enemy of the believers in Badr battle. They had to kill the enemies, as it is said in the Quran, but at least, and at first, it was God who killed them. External corruption, facade, can be interior regeneration, salah. Let's go back to the Khalifa. Angel protested, as says the Shaykh in the poem The Khutbah of the Futuhat, because obscurity of clay veiled them and prevented them from seeing splendor of names, divine names. The Khalifa means Khalifa Anillah, staying in place of God in the earth and not coming after others before him, as sing some commentators. Only if you take in consideration that man is the last created being. What in Arabic called the human constitution, النشأة الإنسانية, is the insan which in paradise, which is place of relation and proximity, dar walaya. Anger is a form of purification and has necessarily an end in contrary of mercy. The prostration of the angel was a purification from the divine anger provocated by their constatation.